way. We need Pedro Pascal to do a Mandalorian political commercial, which is cuts from Bernie Sanders to him as the Mando with baby Grogu on his shoulder. And he just goes, "This is the way." How does he say? "This is the way." He's kind of nasally in the Mandalorian. "This is the way." I don't know. I can't do a Mandalorian. You need a helmet on to do a Mandalorian impression, right? What's up, Curtis? Bernie is the way. This is the way. This is the way. Some good. I mean, there's a ton of bad news. I don't know if you've seen Pete Hegseth, his latest venture into eradicating words that he thinks is DEI. But Curtis, you know that the plane that flew the bomb over the bombs, Fat Man and Little Boy, or whatever they were called, the plane that flew the bombs in World War II to Japan was called the Enola Gay. I didn't know it was because of the dude who, the pilot's like mother, like her name was Enola Gay something. And Pete Hegseth, now that he's in charge, he thinks DEI can eradicate the word gay from that. So from now on, the plane that flew the bombs in World War II will be known as the Enola Strait. Article down below. The stupidity is funny sometimes. Sometimes when it's stupid and mean, which he is, it's not necessarily funny. But when it's just pure stupid, when people are showing off they're stupid, then it's funny. But Bernie Sanders out in, what was it, Wisconsin, Michigan? I don't know, somewhere up in the North Midlands. What do you call that? I hate that the country only has like the Northeast, the Midwest, the Pacific Northwest, the Southwest, and the South. I think we should have the Northern Midlands. What a wasteful use of power. Curtis, never mind a wasteful use of power. What a waste of just resources. And imagine going to change all the government websites, all the government whatever you're doing. Like, somebody's job is that, to change the word Enola Gay, which was named after the pilot's mother. It was the plane in World War II that flew the bombs that ended the war. And imagine being so dumb, not knowing like, oh, it's just his mom's name, but being so like threatened, insecure about the plane named Enola Gay that you're like, we got to erase that from the government's websites. I want no trace of the word Enola Gay. Not knowing it was someone's name. I bet if Marvin Gaye is in the what is it, like the archives, the National Archives, he's gonna erase Marvin Gaye's last name. Pete Hegseth is going. I mean, what a stupid person to have power. What up, Roro Bean? But imagine that. Somebody should tell Pete Hegseth that Marvin Gaye's last name is Gay. And he's going to change his last. He's going to, by decree, by the power invested in me by the United States of America, I now dub Marvin. It's not Martin. He just changed his whole name. You are now Martin Strait. You are no longer Marvin Gaye. That name is too gay. Literally. Stupid. These people are just showing off their stupidity. DEI has nothing to do with somebody's last name being gay. Oh my God. Literally. The Enola Gay. That was that lady's like maiden name or middle name. And Pete Hegseth is trying to change it. Jesus. We got morons running the country. Help. SOS, rest of the world. Put your flags upside down. We need help. Oh man. But the good news. That's what I was talking about, Curtis. How disrespectful to the truth. They don't care about the truth. That's the thing, Curtis. If you listen to people smarter than I, but I'll tell you too, if you listen to people smarter than I, like Gary Stevenson, listen to him, Gary's Economics. He's been releasing a lot of videos. I've linked his videos. Gary Stevenson, he worked with like the most powerful, wealthy people in the world. He worked at Citibank as a trader. And he says these people, it doesn't, like lying, being a hypocrite, nothing matters to them when they have a goal. They'll do anything to achieve that goal. just what is, you got to ask yourself, what is Pete Hegseth's goal? To just eradicate any word that he feels threatened by? Does the word gay threaten him? Like, is dude in the closet? Like, it's so, you got to be so insecure to be like, that World War II plane named the Enola Gay, we're erasing it from the history books. We're going to teach kids that it was called the Enola Strait, the Enola Macho Man. They're going to call the plane the Enola Macho Man Randy Savage. They're going to call the plane the Enola Hulk Hogan. These people are so fucking dumb. Curtis, I'm so sick of the world right now. I am too. And you're not the only one, Curtis. This is why I say talk to people. Because at my work, like, everybody, there's a dude at my work who, like, loves corporate power, loves the rules, and he's like, I hope I slip and fall and DIE, not DEI. And I was like, damn, they're breaking him down. But here, let's focus on some good news, because I know we all have to work and we're all exhausted, and we come home and we're all like, we need a revolution, but I'm tired. I just want to stream some stuff and go to bed because I got to get back up for work tomorrow. But if Bernie Sanders comes to your town, go and see him. Bernie Sanders, this is the way. This is the only way forward in the realm of democracy. We're not a democracy anymore. But Bernie Sanders pulled in like 10,000 people in... That's what I was saying before. I don't like the regions. I think we need to have a Middle East, a Middle West. You got me in a nutshell, Curtis. But what I'm saying, hold on, let me finish about the region. We need to have regions. We need to divide the country up in regions. This is one of my political policies. Instead of having Northeast, Pacific Northwest, Southwest, the South, Southeast, the Midwest, the Bible Belt, I say we divide it up. Southern Canada can be New England. Hopefully Canada, will you let us in, please? But we need to have like the mid-Northlands, the Middle East, the Middle West, the Middle South. We need to like totally redo how we divide our country up into regions. Because there's more than the Midwest. You can't say the Midwest and mean like Wisconsin and Michigan. I think that needs to be redone. But if Bernie Sanders is pulling in 10,000 people, and it's good that he's going out there because he's giving people, hey, what's up, Alyssa? We're talking about Bernie Sanders out in the mid-Northlands. I'm just calling Michigan and Wisconsin and Minnesota the mid-Northlands. The true north of America, even though we have Alaska. Good to see you, Alyssa. And Curtis, I'll address that comment in a second. But first, we need to reschedule all of the regions in America. And then, especially because, like, I don't want New Hampshire in the Northeast. New Hampshire is very right-wing. And they live by this live free or die motto. But if you brought like a pound of cannabis up there, you're going to jail. You don't get to live free. It only applies to like guns and taxes, I guess, not drugs, which is stupid. Stupid. And those drugs, I mean by like ibuprofen style, like medicine drugs. Anyways. So Bernie Sanders, if you haven't seen him speaking, his speech, his talk in front of 10,000 people in the mid-Northlands, that's what I'm just going to call it. I don't care. I used to call like anything, when I lived in California, Curtis, you know this, I would call things the Middle East because it wasn't the Middle West to us. Like Ohio wasn't the Middle West to, wasn't the Midwest to California, so I would call it the Mid-East. Confused people. But Bernie Sanders, if you have not seen his speech, please watch it. Check it out. It's on Reddit. It's probably on YouTube. I put a link of him. I don't think it has him speaking. But he's giving people an outlet, a place to vent, a place to go and feel heard. Because right now we're just in a straight up slide. Didn't even slide into a dictatorship. We're just there. The dude's like, I'm the king. Elon's emperor. Palpatine, and we're fucked. But hello, Groot. Good to see you. But Curtis, let me specifically talk about, you got me in a nutshell when I was talking about everybody's feeling sick of the world right now. A lot of people feeling sick of the world outside of the bots and the bootlickers that are like, I don't want to have a voice anymore. I'm watching people that got fired from Trump's policies that voted for Trump, and they're like thanking him. And you're like, you dummy. You're going to thank him when you have no food because egg is $20 now? But the people who still, have somewhat of a head on their shoulders that are like, all right, something's wrong. Whether you can identify what's wrong or not important. What is important is that so many people are feeling like you feel, Curtis. So many people. There are so many people right now, like at my work, I couldn't believe it. Like most everybody at my work was just like, the world. Like the world is the stress of poverty or being working poor or just having to work and have no time to yourself because you just got to get up the next day or you don't live anymore. That stress is unbearingly, it's just brutal to be under that kind of stress. But then when you add in everything that's going on, and that's their plan. Trump and Elon's plan is to bombard you with so much stuff that you feel hopeless, but it's not hopeless. And talking to other people kind of can put things into perspective. Like, all right, we're all feeling this way, but how do we do it? And I think that's why Bernie Sanders going out right now and letting people come to hear him speak, he's the only politician that's saying healthcare is a right. Every place else in the world knows that's a right. Bernie is the only one brave enough to say healthcare is a right. You think Trump and Elon care about you? Have them say healthcare is a right. We're going to do universal healthcare. You know what I mean? Like, that's an easy one. Over 70% of the country believes healthcare is a right. We shouldn't have medical debt in this country. We're the only country that people go bankrupt from medical debt. And Bernie's the only one brave enough to say it. So many people, because they're corporate donors, who they're beholden to, who pulls the puppet strings, just won't even toe that line. And Bernie's been out there for a while. Us Canadians say we ain't for sale. No way. Canada's never for sale. If anything, can the Northeast secede to Canada? Can we come and be Canadians, please? You guys believe that healthcare is a right. If you haven't seen Justin Trudeau's response to Trump, fantastic. And the world is like, fuck America right now. And that's not a joke. They're all like, there's another article I put down below out of the EU saying, if you're silent right now, you're complicit. If you're not standing up and speaking out about how America's become like a traitor to allies, they're traitors to their trade partners, and people are pissed, and I don't blame them. I'm pissed. Just know, the rest of the world, if anybody else is watching this, he don't speak for all of us. That was the other thing I loved about Trudeau and Canada and the Ford brother, not the crazy one, the one who's in charge of Ontario or whatever. They were saying like, hey, we know who's doing this. We're gonna not buy from products that come from red states. And I was like, woo, that's cool. That's cool that they see the facade, like, that it's not, he ain't speaking for everyone. And that's the other problem, when these politicians get in power and they go, it's a mandate, we speak for everyone. You didn't. You know what I mean? There was a good popular vote percentage, almost 49% that didn't vote for you. And how dare you ignore them? Don't conflate our people with our government. Yes, please, please. We are not the government. We are not the people who voted for him. For real, they were being rude to the Ukraine leader. Yeah, Zelensky. More than rude. They brought him out, and even Trump said it at the end of that interview. He said, this is going to make great TV. It's like, that's his people's lives. Imagine if your country was war-torn, and the guy at the end of berating and asking him to say thank you, even though he had said thank you, just dragging the guy, just trolling him. They're basically trolling him on national TV, on global TV, because everybody saw that. Imagine that happening to you, and your country's war-torn. Like, people are dying, and at the end the guy goes, this is going to make great TV. It's like, bro, this is real life. There are consequences to this. But that's said by somebody who's never had to be accountable or had consequences. I've never fully understood what goes into the States until these last 2 years. Yeah. Well, it's good to get educated. It's good to inform yourself. It's good to, seek out it. Listen, if you want to find out about the economy and what we need to do going forward, please take a moment and watch Gary Stevenson's YouTube channel. It's called Gary's Economics. If you go to my last week's videos, I linked a couple videos. You can just check out Gary's Economics on YouTube. He breaks it down. He was a high paid trader. He's seen the other side. He's seen inside the Golden Gates, and he came back to tell us it's going to get worse if we don't do something. But that's the thing, as everybody is exhausted, as everybody's working as hard as they can because egg is $20, rents are gone up and electricity's gone up, everything's gone up, just know that we still have some power, you know? If it's just hitting subscribe and joining me here, and I'll try to inform you and keep you informed. If somebody comes to your town like Bernie Sanders, you go see him, you support it, you educate other people, you don't obey in advance. Write your senate. I've written my senators. I mean, there's a ton of stuff you can do even on a restricted schedule, you know, and most of us are because we're working so hard. So Curtis, that's important to know that other people are feeling that way, but we can change it, you know, at moments in history like this. And that's what Bernie Sanders talked about. You know, this is a moment in history. And if we just sit silently and turn our head and hope it gets better, it's not going to. But if we choose just maybe one thing a day, one thing a week, just a little by little, you just do something. You make your voice heard. You let them know it's not a mandate. 49% of the population did not vote for you. It is not a mandate. And you talk with people at your work, you talk with people on your way home, you talk with people, you find out how people are doing. You know, that's the best way to do it. I raised my siblings for the past 5 years, living in poverty. It's difficult. This last year, I worked 20 hours in 2 days, and most try to work over 50 hours a week to get the basic needs. What's up, Louis Plays? Yeah, Alyssa. And that's the most horrific thing, is that you can be working that hard and you're not saving, you're not trying to buy a house, you're not buying a second car, you're having your basic needs met. And that's why I say check out Gary's Economics, because that's what he reinforces. I mean, I don't need to tell you that. I don't need to tell Curtis that. I don't need to tell a lot of people that, because we're living it, you know? We're working just to have just to eat and just to keep the lights on. And that's most of the economy. That's why they say in America, you see those statistics, oh, most Americans can't cover one emergency expense. It's because we can't, because the money that comes in goes right out to bills and food or whatever. There's no, you know, and that's a majority of us. And it shouldn't be like that. I was reading that in 1991, the average homeowner was 28 or in their 20s, I forget. And then by 2000 something, they were like 31. And by 2022, they were 38. So people aren't able to buy homes anymore. I mean, the economy is made up 70% of consumers purchasing power. That's our ability to have a little extra dough to go spend money on something. And that's being eradicated. And the people that are doing that are the ones who are in charge of wages, who are in charge of the tax code, who are the billionaires that just want a little more. For what? You know, Elon Musk has enough money to fund a nation state, a country, and that guy couldn't spend it all and wouldn't, you know? So it's only better if we don't have to work as long and we have more money so we can keep things floating, man. So Alyssa, I feel you. I get anxious when I can't get certain things for them, let alone keeping the babies fed. And that is, you know, no one in America should be facing that. I can't stand that. I'm sorry. And, you know, the only way for this to get better is we got to come together and we got to take action. We got to push back. We got to tell them no. We got to educate people. We got to inform people. That's why I try to share Gary's Economics with you, because he breaks it down that, you know, the wealthy need to be taxed. That is one way out of this. In Massachusetts, we put a millionaire's tax in place, and every kid in the state of Massachusetts gets free lunch at school, free food at school. Everybody in the state of Massachusetts, if you want to pursue your bachelor's degree at a state college, you can do that. That's all just from one millionaire's tax. So we are living proof. We are the proof needed that it works. It's going to take a while. Pile up. The world needs to change very And my buddy used to always say incremental change means death, which means like these small little changes aren't going to help anybody, and people that are in desperate need, are in the most vulnerable, or in the worst circumstances. And I'm with you, and I think we need immediate change now. And that's why I do this every day. That's why I try to do the things I do. That's why I talk to everybody I can, because we need change now. It is not okay that people are working this much just to barely survive. So I feel you. Now listen, I want you to check out some of the articles I gave below. Please go and watch Bernie Sanders' speech. Check out Gary's economics. I got some stuff I got to do, but just hang in there. Hang in there. Hang in there. It will get better if we force it to get better. No one's coming to save us. We got to do this on our own. So check out Bernie. Check out Gary's economics. And read these articles. It is so funny that the people in control are dumb. Pete Hegseth is dumb. These people are not qualified. They were all DEI hires, ironically. They're all in their positions because they were bootlickers, and we've as a country faced worse odds. We can do this. All right, guys. Much love. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Hit the little thumbs up. Thank you for joining me today. Peace.